We got a juicy rumor to chew over right now. A headline-catching star can be yours if the price is right. Now, you remember last offseason, we saw two big-name receivers, Davante Adams and Tyreek Hill, on the move. And it appears that we will see at least one big-name wide receiver changing teams here this offseason. Now, if you have not been paying attention, perhaps not, we have learned that the fledgling Arizona Cardinals plan to trade star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. He gone. Hopkins was limited. He only played 9 games this season because he's a steroid cheat. He got a 6-game suspension for violating the performance-enhancing drug policy. But in football, they don't really care about that like in baseball. Baseball, boy, that's verboten. But football's like, big deal. Big deal. So, and then he came back and had a knee problem, DeAndre did. Still, he led Arizona with 717 receiving yards at 64 catches, but only 3 touchdowns. That's not good, and Arizona was not good. Here's the rub on this. So Hopkins, he apparently wants out. The Cardinals are good to get rid of the contract. He has a full no-trade clause as part of that massive contract he signed recently, which he's not willing to blow to smithereens, although he would like more money tacked onto it. So he will be the one that dictates. He's the orchestrator who will dictate what's going on here in his future destination. So let us discuss the question. All right, how much value does DeAndre Hopkins have on the trading block? So I've got electorate, Wendy's, and society, high society. We'll get to that, and we'll do it all right now, and we'll begin with this, all right? So as we make the Bob news, to kick off, though, DeAndre Hopkins, he checks most, not all, the boxes, right? He has been squarely ranked among the most productive receivers in the NFL. You play fantasy football. It's like, Geronimo, I've got DeAndre Hopkins. All right, way to go. Hopkins is in the prime of his career, but he's getting close to the end of it, right? It's a weird thing, the wide receivers, because usually your athletic prime ends at 32. DeAndre Hopkins is 30. He's under contract for another couple of years. We mentioned the no-trade clause in the contract, but we're hearing he would like to relocate out of Arizona, and there will be a robust trade market. So in terms of why that is, kind of obvious, right? We all watch our football. There's a supply shortage of top pass catchers. How many NFL teams are lacking the wow factor at the receiver position? You look around the NFL, it's the haves and the have-nots. Hopkins will benefit from the Tyreek effect. That Tyreek Hill went from Kansas City to Miami, and the Dolphins are a playoff team. Tyreek had great numbers. He was wonderful. The Dolphins had to play multiple quarterbacks. They made the playoffs. Now, of course, it doesn't always work out that way. The Raiders acquired Davante Adams from the Green Bay Packers, and they missed the playoffs altogether. All right, now, people are mostly optimistic. They're not pessimistic. Teams are like, oh, the glass is half full. It's not half empty. Nevertheless, Hopkins, though, he's got the brand, right? He's got the name brand. He's going to be set up financially. He's already set up financially. But in terms of the trade market, this is the kind of guy that excites the base. You get the electorate dreaming of glory days. And what will the Cardinals get in return when they finally connect the puzzle pieces together and get the trade done? Well, what are the comps? You look at Davante Adams, you look at Tyreek Hill, you're like, well, something like that. DeAndre Hopkins, I say, looking into my crystal ball, he'll get a second or a third-round pick and other draft picks, like a fourth, fifth-round pick, something like that, and conditional selections. Hopkins has more baggage than Davante Adams. They're about the same age. Tyreek Hill was traded for 5 draft picks. That's what the Chiefs got back from the Dolphins in that trade. Now, furthermore, let's play psychologist. What does DeAndre Hopkins heading out of Arizona tell us about the Cardinals situation? So it's dysfunction junction. What's your function? as Kyler Murray continues to wreak havoc. The Kyler effect, we call it here, alligator arms Murray. So let's play a game we borrowed from an old television commercial back in the day. Where's the beef? Right, from Wendy's. Where's the beef? DeAndre Hopkins was not a happy camper in 2022. He was not. He started the season in the penalty box, as we said, steroid guy. But then when he returned, it appeared he was at loggerheads with Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. But now we get the rest of the story. Hopkins and the Cardinals agreeing that he should be traded, dangled on the auctioning block after Cliff Kingsbury was given a long walk off a short plank. He was whacked as coach of the Cardinals. So that makes this uncomplicated. That DeAndre Hopkins, he wants to be in a different time zone as far away as he can get from the little fella, alligator arms Murray. Am I right or am I right? These guys were at each other's throats. They were squabbling. Kyler Murray's a bad teammate. He's a coach killer. And he's going through that Cardinal facility with a blowtorch. It's a little blowtorch, but he's going through there with a blowtorch. DeAndre is getting paid. He's a number one receiver in the NFL. He's not happy. He's getting the ball a ton. He's not happy. The reason he's not happy, he's not on the same wavelength with Kyler Murray, and he don't want to play with that guy. I mean, he enjoyed living in Arizona and all that, but he's got a bad coworker. There was irreversible damage. Kyler got the big contract. He's allowed to do the video games and all that. And now DeAndre is like, I got to get out of here. I got to go somewhere else. All right, parting shot. Should Bill Belichick make a play to acquire DeAndre Hopkins via trade? Are the Patriots, the way I would answer that, are the Patriot fans known as mass holes? Yes. So that one's easy peasy. Now, New England is devoid of the elite playmakers. Just between me, you, and the lamppost over there, Devontae Parker does not strike fear in defensive coordinators. Nelson Aguilar and Jacoby Myers are Jags. They're just guys. In the equine world, the Patriot receivers would be Clydesdales. DeAndre Hopkins is a stallion. This guy is an elite game breaker, and with the trickle-down economics, assuming the Patriots keep Mac Jones, although that's open, he did not get a vote of confidence from Belichick, but Hopkins, unlike Mac Jones, makes players better. Other receivers get better. The trickle-down economics of adding a great player. Defensive coordinators put a bullseye on Hopkins, and in theory, that opens up other players around the field. Plus, you have a built-in love affair between Belichick and Hopkins. There's some NFL Films clips bouncing around. I don't know if you've seen these on social media. There was a mic'd-up segment that showed Bill Belichick during a Cardinal-Patriot game whispering sweet nothings into the ears of Hopkins and vice versa. It was a mutual admiration high society, each of them singing lullabies to the other. Get a room, boys. But since DeAndre is wearing the pants here, he's got a no-trade clause. He can't leave kicking and screaming. He's going to be the one that calls the shots on this. Hopkins would emphatically approve of a trade to New England, I would think. The Belichick thing, he'd get fed the ball a ton. He's going to leverage that to get more guaranteed money. So it becomes a case of whether or not Robert Kraft is still bargain shopping, if he's still looking for the discount bin there for the Patriots, because Hopkins, he's got a lot of money left, $34 million in base salary over the next couple of years. I figure he can probably get another $20 million. Why not? It's funny money. It's Mickey Mouse money in the NFL. And it's not reinventing the wheel and all that, but you got to push the boundaries. I got to push the boundaries. All right, the Patriots have 3 fourth-round picks. Now, Hopkins is worth more than a fourth-round pick, but you could trade one of those fourth-round picks and you could throw some other draft picks in and make the math work. It's not a long shot if the Cardinals want to get rid of DeAndre Hopkins because Kyler Murray, little Napoleon, doesn't like Hopkins, and he already got the coach fired there in Arizona. So it's something to follow here, and we will follow it because we have no lives. And that's the kind of crap that we do here in the middle of the night and early in the morning.